and we are today talking about the Sikh Society of Central Florida. So much to discuss with you and on all the work you guys are doing and also the benevolent services you're doing to the community as well. So let's dig right into it. Tell us a little bit about the Sikh Society of Central Florida and all of its ongoing programs. What does it offer for the community and how long have you both been a part of it?
Society of Central Florida was established somewhere in 80s. We have, even now, we have a very small Punjabi or Sikh population in Florida. Even today, we are probably 0.05% of the population of Florida. Florida is a big state.
Wow.
It's in a length and breadth. It's the third most populous state. It's almost half the size of England. Considering that our population is very small, and in 80s it was even smaller. So some our seniors, they got together. They initially started doing part in each other's home, and people were our Sangat members are coming from Melbourne, Daytona, Tampa, and then they eventually brought it to church, and we operated there for a few years. In 2002. They bought a land and built this existing structure, the existing Gurudwara where we are, Sikh Society of Central Florida in Oviedo, which is a suburb of Orlando. So we are there since 2002, and I am involved in Sikh Society since 2004 when I moved to Orlando.
Wow. For our audience, which I'm sure they're already familiar about, but let's educate the ones that may not be South Asian. Could you just give us a little insight into Sikhism and all of its core values for the audience to truly get to know about the religion?
In my personal opinion, Sikhism is about humanity, about humanitarians. All our core values, sharing with others, freedom, and meditation, and be inclusive, be helpful to the community. It's based on three principles started by Guru Nanak Dev Ji 550 years ago in present day India and Pakistan. Nankana Sahib was in the news last year. This started about 550 years ago. The very basic principle of equality for all, irrespective of caste, culture, religion, gender, race. And if you remember that time, modern day India was... the India in 15th century was very divisive. Women did not have equal rights. This is probably one of the first faith or first philosophy which said women be held equally or better than a man. Which means, how can you treat a woman inferior which gives birth to the kings?
Yeah.
At that time, if I think him as he was a teacher, right? He calls himself a guru. We don't call them God. His philosophy was revolutionary. Irrespective of you, whichever lower caste, middle caste, upper caste you belong to, he said, no, you all are equal. He made them sit equally to eat food.
Yeah.
Imagine 500 years ago, when a shadow of a lower caste person was considered a bad stuff.
Yeah.
At that time say, no, you will sit together. Women which were treated very inferiorly, they had no right to education, tell them that no, they are equally with you, they have equal rights. And this is one of the only faiths which a woman can be priest, woman can be our jathedar as we call it, she can be anything.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Having that thought at that time was way ahead of it. And the concept of sharing, irrespective of where you belong, to share with the community, to help the community. And so Sikhi is sometimes I feel that it's very similar to the values of our constitution, which give us freedom to practice. In Sikhi, we don't say that, oh, become Sikhs. We say whichever faith you belong to, be part of that faith. You can still be a Sikh. Be good with that faith, because each philosophy, each religion is all about being a good human being.
Right.
And if you are a Christian, be a good Christian. Hindu, be a good Hindu. Muslim, be a good Muslim.
Definitely.
And our doors are open to anyone. You don't have to be Sikh to come to Sikh Gurudwara.
Right.
In fact, as we go forward, we'll share with you how people from different faiths came together to do the programs which we are doing.
Yes, for sure. I have to ask, since you've spoken so much about women's empowerment, to Gagandeep Kaur, what is a Sikh according to you? And when you are talking about women empowerment, equality, how much of that have you personally experienced being a Sikh yourself?
To me, the Sikh is the one who keep the God in her heart. and keep the God in mind all the time. One who lives honestly and work hard is a true Sikh who treats everyone equally and is generous enough to every person. Who do seva, serve others, be generous, be kind, be humble, is what Sikhism to me. Regarding women empowerment in Sikhism, women have equal right. Like Amit said, 550 years ago, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who's the founder of Sikhism, he said that women are equal to men. And we are seeing this in our today Gurudwara too. We have a women president, Sarabjit Kaur. So we have equal rights to be in power and stand with men equally.
Yes, definitely. And I think it's so important for everyone to also understand Sikhism is a very universal religion. Their Gurudwaras are called Center of Oneness. They're very inclusive of all, and they want to open up their doors to everybody. Let's continue to talk more about the Sikh Society of Central Florida. A question to both of you here. What are the ongoing programs of the Sikh Society of Central Florida? And especially with the pandemic, coming up, really taking over our lives. Have you been participating in COVID-19 relief activities along with your programs?
Yes. When COVID struck us, it was around March 15th. I remember it was spring break. The first thing we did was to stop the congregation. So we went online. Instead of in-person congregation, we requested our Sangat that, go to Facebook and other our YouTube instead of coming physically to the Gurudwara. We wanted to do our first step was to stop the spread of the disease, and we wanted to be the first one. So I think we were probably one of the first Gurudwaras or church which closed, because Florida being a conservative state, our churches were never closed actually. But we stopped our physical congregation, and then we realized that what do we do now? We Sikhs have been historically always at the forefront of helping the community, be it earthquake, be it food pandemic, whatever it is. But what do we do here? We were always of the opinion that maybe in Western countries, there may not be that much need of the food. But after this pandemic, or during this pandemic, we realized that a lot of jobs would be lost because businesses were shut, restaurants were closed, everything was closed, and many people were looking for food. We thought of starting a small program to go deliver them the food, but we figured it will be if we want to sustain for a longer period of time, we have to figure out how can we use our kitchen. Luckily, every Sikh Gurudwara, as you are aware, has a kitchen. We are used to cooking food for 400-500 people easily. That's a small Gurudwara, so small member Gurudwara like ours. If you go to California, New York, there are thousands of people. And there is no settled organization. So we figured, what are we good at? We are good at giving food. So we came up with this drive-through program where anyone can come to our Gurudwara. They don't have to come inside, because we were very conscious about the safety of everyone. We want everyone to be safe, our volunteers as well as our members who are coming for the food. So we started a drive-through program where anyone and everyone can come. They can walk, they can drive, they can come on bicycles, and we delivered them food. In the beginning, we thought maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, because practically, if you think practically, because our Gurudwara is closed, and our only source of funding is for our congregation members. When congregation members are not coming, your funding will dry to do such programs. So we initially thought maybe we'll do for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll see, maybe it will get better. No one knew that COVID will be going all through the fall.
Yeah.
But once we started it, a lot of volunteers, they contacted us. They wanted to come help. A lot of people said they wanted to come. They wanted to just donate the money for this program.
Wow.
And now we are into almost 7th month into our program. Next week, we'll be probably entering our 7th month into the program.
Wow.
And as we grow, a lot of people contacted us. People from different faith come in. They wanted to come serve. And after giving them initial talk on how to be protective, how to make sure we are serving safely, people from different communities are coming, and different organizations like Food Not Bombs, and a blanket Project Lennox, and we had blood donations with One Blood. So they start coming. They start bringing stuff. And one Food Not Blood is authorized to serve food to homeless people in downtown Orlando. Not many
Wow.
organizations cook food in Orlando. You will see a food drive for perishable food. You will rarely see a cooked food drive. That was one organization which was authorized to do it. So every Sunday we are giving them about 150 meals to go serve to homeless people
Wow.
in downtown. So
Wow.
different people, different organizations, they
Mm.
came together, and you feel so heartened to see it, because that is the core principle, to
Yeah.
bring the communities together, to bring we see human race as one race. We belong to one earth. Our prayers are about that Sarbat Dapala, where we say
Mm.
welfare for the whole universe. Along with that, we did last week we did our third blood donation drive with One Blood. Uh, we have never done that before, and in past 6 months we have done our third blood drive. So we
Wow.
have also done back to school supplies. When children were going back to school, we realized that they may not have all the supplies. So we probably give more than 1,000 back to school supply bags.
Wow.
During pandemic, we probably give thousands of grocery bags to people who needs food during the week.
Wow.
We gave our One of our member made hundreds of masks, cloth masks, which we gave it to people coming for drive-through langar. So
Right.
this program has grown to extent that which was supposed to be lasting a month, we are
Wow.
into 7 months, and we don't want to stop it. The
Yes.
volunteers are so enthusiastic. It's not You will feel that every Sunday after Sunday they will feel tired, because not only we have to prepare food, we have to first arrange food, then prepare food, then you need quite a few volunteers at the back end to cook and then to serve. But just looking at the enthusiasm of the volunteers, it makes you feel proud that
So,
you belong to a
so let
great
me
community.
ask you about something, and maybe Gagandeep can answer this. A huge part of Sikhism is volunteerism, seva, which is for the community, and that's what we're talking about right now. You guys are doing blood drive. There is food drive happening. There's a lot of programs going on. Can you tell us how the volunteers are being kept safe, Gagandeep, and also what is the experience of these volunteers? Like, how are they reacting to doing so much seva in the community during the pandemic?
When we started this program, we discussed with a couple of volunteers, which is our core team, and the first reaction was, yes, let's do it. That's what Sikhism teaches us.
Right.
Just step in, let's do it. Let's provide food for the needy who needs, because we know there are so many homeless people around. They don't have anything. They don't have any place to go. So it just started with small, like just with the food. And we just like spread out the word that we are providing food, free food on Sundays. But as Amit said, it grew with time. And we didn't anticipate it going this far. We are in 7th month now, like with this food drive. This helped us because we are posting it on Facebook to invite people to come if they are in need. This way, other organizations, which are non-Sikh organizations, are reaching us. Even the common people, like non-Sikh people who just comes to help do seva. Like they call us, they're like, can we come and stop by and do the seva?
Wow.
It's so good, like you feel so good, and when they come they feel so welcome, and they come from week after week, and even they bring their kids over there. And other organizations like Amit was talking, Food for Bomb, Project Lennox, Red Cross, they just came on their own when they saw that we are doing this seva. Even so many law enforcement people started coming, and they really started to know what Sikhism is, who Sikhs are. They started to know, because it's a very small community here in Orlando. We have very limited people. No, hardly people know about Sikhism. Now we have, because week after week after doing this program, getting into news and people knowing from word of mouth, spreading it out that what seva they are doing, they're being humble, generous, giving up the food.
Yeah.
We do give food to the Orlando Rescue Mission. We provide them like hundreds of meals along with the free meal program. So it's like amazing as it's growing. So volunteers are, rather than getting tired, they are more enthusiastic. They're like, they want to do this. They want to grow into it. Like they don't want to stop it. We ask them like, do we really want to stop this now? Like, but they are not willing to. They are coming on their own. They're happy working over there. So it's giving good feedback and people knowing the community, like who Sikhs are.
I asked you both this question because I wanted to get your take on raising Sikh awareness in the community. My question perhaps is, do you think Sikh Americans are being perceived by the masses correctly? And if not, and I guess Amit Palji, you can answer this in the beginning, how would you like them to look at the Sikh American community, and how important does Sikh awareness, awareness of the community, the Sikh faith, the religion becomes for, a person like you both?
Well, first, you are absolutely right. When you see a person with a turban and a beard, obviously you get those looks because you are not used to it. And if we go historically, that's why we wear turban. Turban is a sign that a Sikh, anyone who is wearing turban, that person will, if you are in need, that person will go out of the way to help you. That's why this turban was given. This is a sign of equality. This is a sign of a protector. This is a sign of a person who will live by the Sikh faith. And yes, you will be looked upon, but that was the original goal, to stand out. It's not that we only stood out here, we stand out in our home country in India as well. Except there is, because it's part of education, there is more awareness. You're right. In southern part of India, we may be looked upon similar to what we are looked upon here. And that is why it becomes more important to have dialogues. It's more important to spread words. It's more important for people to come to our Gurudwara Sahib. And that's why this free food program and the other programs which we are doing has helped us to spread awareness. Because if you don't talk to us, or if you don't talk to a person who looks so diverse, of course there is chances of misunderstanding. Only when they talk to us, they come visit our Gurudwara, they will see we actually walk the talk. We actually are open to everyone. We don't discriminate. It's not just for Sikhs. Gurudwara is for everyone, irrespective of which faith you belong to. And it really is rewarding when you see people from different faiths coming and serving. They come and they're a little bit shy in the beginning that, do you think we can help you? And we jump on it. We said, help? Come, do. Be our face. They are the one, if you probably will send you a picture. If you see, most of the people who are serving food are non-Sikhs. We are standing in the background. We just cook, we deliver. And that is the word of mouth is the best form of marketing. Ideally, it should be in the education, because our Sikhs is the most peaceful, most loyal community. They will go above and beyond to help the neighbor. But you are absolutely right. It's probably the most misunderstood faith because we look different. And looking different is part of our faith, so that we stand out to help the community. If that word goes out, I think it will do a lot good to our community, a lot good to our country. Because I was talking to someone other day, what kind of word it will be if everyone follows one faith, everyone looks similar, everyone wears same clothes. I don't think we want to live in that world. Diversity, especially in country like United States, it's the diversity which made us the best country of the world.
Yes, definitely. Let me ask you one follow-up question to that, since we are discussing, Sikh awareness, and to both of you, in the wake of racism and xenophobia in the nation, which really impacts these Sikh American voices, how do you perhaps address that? And also for people that are afraid of wearing the 5 articles of faith of Sikhism, especially the turban, what do you advise to them? And this, I would love for both of you to answer that question.
I'll let me answer that, and I have a story with it. I'll tell you later.
Because it's always said, like, it's true that living with the 5 cars, the 5Ks, it's very tough being in this country here in United States. So that's where it always comes that actions, we need to show with actions. We need to be serving and giving. We need to let people know through our actions that who Sikhs are and they are safe people. They're like, because it's very misunderstood religion. So also because of this, we teach our kids, and we have collaborating with other organizations, Sikh Coalition, to make our kids go to school and educate the teachers and the school people that what Sikhism is, to add that into their curriculum. So we are working towards that goal, so that we were just waiting for kids to start with their schools, and within a month or two, when they get comfortable with their schools and the classes and the programs, so they can they have already prepared the material. They are just almost ready to go and educate their teachers and the school kids, so that everybody is aware and they feel comfortable and safe. So once everybody is aware, and more action speaks more than words. It's always said, like, so actions, we are trying to do these service, the seva to our Gurudwara. So we're trying, and our kids are being educated. We run all the programs, the Gurmukh programs, Gurmukh camps, living Sikhi camps. Living Sikhi camps are basically not just the Sikh history. It's the practical knowledge we give to the kids about the teachings of our gurus. So how to implement that practically in life and be helpful, because it's always action speaks more than the words.
Yes, for sure. Amitpalji, I would quickly, because I want to go into the youth programs that, the Sikh Society of Central Florida is hosting and creating a lot of enablement and empowerment for the youth. But Amitpalji, I have to get your answer on this. If somebody's scared to wear their turban, because it is one of the most misinterpreted aspect of the Sikh faith, what do you say to them?
When we started this free meal program, before that, no one knew us. No one knew me, honestly. And I've been living in this community for 15 years. I never felt, I didn't felt unsafe ever. But after this program, when we posted on Facebook, we posted on different places. So, and many people came to know about us. Many media channel covered it. After that, right in front of my house, someone came and spray painted my car with with word Sikh and expletives, right outside my house in the daytime. And I'm glad actually it happened to me, because usually we tell, if ever such incident happen, we are used to, Sikhs are used to such incidents. Ever such incident happen, we tell them, no, don't worry. Let's go out and do the dialogue. This incident, unfortunate incident, actually gave me an opportunity to walk the talk, to actually say that even though it happened during daytime right outside my house, instead of going back to my shell or worried about my family, I said, no, we are Sikhs. This is an opportunity to have dialogue, to do what we are doing to even a better scale or at a next level. Let's go and encourage people to ask questions. Let's open the dialogues. So I posted on Facebook. I informed media this happened, and anyone who has questions, come to us. Let's discuss. Let's have a dialogue. Unless you understand us, you will not know about us. And I tell my children, you go and buy those expensive dresses. You go buy those branded shirts. Why do you do that? At the end of the day, you want to look different. And here, you stand out in millions. You go to Disney, there's one turban person, that person will stand out. If we all do our part, it will be something where you will be so proud of you. You go to a job, you will stand out.
Wow.
If you are a right person, if you follow the faith, and you are at work, your work will be magnified by 10 times. So this actually makes your life easier. I have not seen a single Sikh who says, I don't wear turban because I was not my work people, or someone was not hiring me. Every person with turban, if they had courageous enough to wear turban, I have seen them successful, and they become successful more easily because they stand out. If they do good deeds, they will stand out. But if you do bad deeds, they will stand out too. So this turban promotes and gives us the confidence to do the righteous things. So this is how I talk to my Gurmat school children, that you do all that to stand out.
Right.
It is an identity. Be a good person. People will appreciate you. At the end of the day, we all are humans.
Yeah.
And human beings are built up to have compassion. Yes, there will be 5-10% people who will not like you. They will not like you anyway. So forget about them and focus on your identity,
Yeah.
because if you're empty from inside, no matter how good looking you are, you will not be able to achieve
That's so
success and
true.
peace in life.
That's so true. And I'm loving this perspective on Sikhism and, standing out and truly embracing your turban and other articles of faith. Let's now go into the amazing youth empowerment programs that the Sikh Society of Central Florida is doing. I know you guys are hosting Gurmat classes. I know there are virtual classes as well. I know there was a summer camp that happened. So both of you, maybe we can start with Gagandeep this time. Give us a little insight into what is happening for youth enrichment at the Sikh Society of Central Florida, and why is it so necessary that we focus on the youth of our community now?
Yeah, youth is our future, you know that.
Yeah.
So we followed our parents, what they taught us. We had an advantage back home, like because we had the community around us, which was Sikh community. So we got to learn things from them, not just from our parents, the community around us, the whole community was there. But here, kids miss that part. So it becomes more of our responsibility towards them to teach them, to bring them to the Gurudwara. Because youth, like when they are little, when they're kids, like till age of 10 or 11, they're easier to bring to the Gurudwara. You can ask them, okay, we have to go, they come. But the age group between 11 onwards, it becomes tough to get them to the Gurudwara. It becomes very hard because they will make all sort of excuses, like we have homeworks, we have this, we have that. So how to connect them, how to bring them to Gurudwara. It's not just the spiritual aspect of it. We need to do something different for them, which can get them connected to the society. We need to bring in from the spirituality. Yes, we definitely need to teach them the Sikh history. We do need to want them to learn who gurus were, who were our gurus, what they teaching. But to implement those teachings is where they will get connected. If they will get to see, like this program started, free meal program. Sikh youth, like the kids group ages between 11 onwards, when they saw this program running, they were very excited to be part of it. They themselves walked to us to that, can we be part of it? Because that where when we were able to teach them, guide them, that these are the Sikh values. These what our gurus teaches us to do seva, to serve, to share. It's a langar, like we are serving everyone, everybody. It's open to everybody. No forms needed, no commitments needed. You can walk in, take that. So when you do things practically, they come to know and they want to do that. And they want to learn. So even though we are running our Gurmat classes, Gurmat camps, you can teach them so much. But when they come to practically, they get eager to learn. They are enthusiastic to learn about the things. And then they want to grow in that on their own. Youth feels only connected when you make them do something practical. Like, and then that from there you can put them in further teaching. So during this pandemic, because we knew like we can't be together, we can't bring them together in the same room. So let's bring them virtually connected. Let's connect them virtually. So we started different programs for them, like Living Sikhi Camp. We started the Gurmat classes. We started Shabad learnings for them. And to our surprise, kids were like so much involved in those, started getting so much involved in these things that few of our classes, they started running on their own. They don't even need any adult supervision, like learning the art, learning the Gurumukhi. So they started learning on their own. And now they're like every day they're doing their parts. Every day they're doing their prayers. on their own. They just start their Zoom invites. They know that it's 6:30. They have to do the part. They all get into the group, do their part, recite the end of the day prayers, and they're happy with that. So that's like kind of achievement for us, and we feel great that we are connecting them and we are able to connect them. And because if they are connected of that age group, the younger ones will learn and follow that path along with them. Because at the end, they need to learn to be a humble, kind, generous human being.
Yes, for sure. Very, very exciting programs here for the youth. And I think it's so important to continue teaching them, especially virtually. Amitpalji, what is the future vision for this youth program? And, how have the parents and the students truly reacted? How big does the Sikh Society of Central Florida want to make this youth program?
How it started was because in North America, our Gurudwaras, our mandirs are also they are not only a religious institute, spiritual institute. There are social institutes as well. There are education institutes as well. As we were talking earlier, where else will teach about these great philosophies? So when we looked around people who were in 30s, 40s, who were born and brought up here, I felt a disconnection. And I also realized that the depression and loneliness is much more prevalent. And when you start looking into it, what happened? These kids grew up here, this education system. Why they have loneliness when they're in 30s, there are suicides, there are deaths. So we started going back and realized that after 11, 12, 13 years, until we can push them to Gurudwaras, after that, they stopped coming because they are not able to relate to it. We force spiritualism on them. We ask them to learn the theory first and then do the practical. We realize that if we want less depression in our youth, if we want our youth to be connected, we have to bring them together. To bring them together, we need to do practical first. If they like the practical part, theory they will learn. So we reverse the philosophy. And to stop them, that loneliness at the age of 30s and 40s, they should feel connected to Gurudwara. They should feel connected to the common place, because Gurudwara is not only a religious place. This is our cultural place. This is our educational place. So we realize that 11 to 21 group or 13 to 21 group is missing in the Gurudwara. Not only Gurudwara, I think throughout all the ethnic religious places, that group is missing. So we thought how can we engage them? We formed a Sikh Youth of Florida. Initially, we have few youngsters coming together, and before I said, we announced to the other members that you are ready, do some work for us. And they start participating in Sunday meal program. Next week, we are doing law enforcement and first responder appreciation program, and they are organizing it. They are planning it. We will just help them. We'll need them wherever, we'll help them wherever it's needed. During this pandemic, they also learned movie making. We are also opening, we have raised donation worth of $10,000 to open a kind of a studio in our Gurudwara Sab's extra room, where they can interview people, or they can work on the movies, they can short film, and they will edit it. So we'll have cameras for them, we have software for them, we have laptops for them, so that they think of it as an education institute too. And once they realize that what we are contributing to their life, as a community we are contributing to their life, they automatically will start coming to the Gurudwara Sahib. And when the young kids start coming, they will form friendships. And these friendships will last forever. Then when they become engineers, doctors, they will become mentor for the next generation.
Yeah.
So our vision is to bring them back in terms of volunteer work. Don't come to Matha Tekha, don't come to learn anything. Just come and do the volunteer work, which is a requirement for your school anyway.
Yeah.
We will provide facilities to you. We will give work for you. We will help you participate in those 5K races. We will sponsor you. So once that group is formed, once that connectivity is there, they will have a relationship with those institutes, which will help them when they're in 20s, 30s, because they are used to going there. They will feel that this is the place. So our vision is, as I mentioned, to bring them together, to connect them, to focus on the practical part of Sikhi, which is equality, which is serving, which is Wandke Chakana, which is sharing your wealth, sharing your knowledge, sharing maybe your books, uh, from there, once they realize it, they will feel connected, and it will help them to grow. It will
Yeah,
help them to relate, which will help
definitely.
them in their later stages. And that
Yes.
is why we have been investing so heavily in our future. Basically, we are investing in ourselves,
Yeah.
but we have taken a different approach. Instead of just a spiritual institute, we are trying to make it a
Yeah.
educational and a culture institute as well.
It's beautiful. And I think it's so important that, the youth of the community is engaging, it's getting inspired by its own culture, it's participating. That's the only way to keep the movement going on and create a whole cycle of people really mentoring each other. We are coming towards the close of the interview, and I know we have a youth member that's going to join us very soon. Just one last question for the two of you. What are your hopes with the Gurudwara, with the Sikh Society of Central Florida, and what can we look forward to in the next couple of months?
Well, as I said, we are doing law enforcement appreciation next week. We are
Right.
doing teacher appreciation a month from now. And our goal is once our children are engaged, when they know about Sikhi, when they go to school, when they are proud, they are going to tell many other their friends, because when you're young,
Yeah.
your mind is wide, you are accepting. Um, Teenagers don't see color, teenagers don't see a race. It's when we grow in 30s 40s, that's when we start separating. So if
Right.
we are able to express to our youth, which
Hmm.
will help them as well to establish themselves in the school, that will be a great give back to our community. And after, along with this program, we are working in all the schools where children are going to somehow go there and participate in those schools. Encourage our children to participate in
Hmm.
maybe these advisory boards, maybe these elections, so that you are able to communicate, so that you are able to express. And
Right.
when you express young, when once some people or some kids know that what these seeks at a young age, they have a long way to spread this awareness. So these are the goals for us for next year, actually, to continue to do this program one a month, maybe law enforcement and teachers appreciation day. Maybe we'll figure out how to appreciate our general community, along with how can we engage our children in the school, how can we encourage them to participate
Hmm.
in different activities, different volunteer work in the schools.
Gaganti, what are
So once
your
they are,
hopes?
yeah, because once they are volunteering, the kids, they are bringing in their own friends, which are
Right.
non-Sikh friends, the
That's true.
American kids. So they are learning here. Like last week, my daughter, she got her friends, couple of friends, and they were very happy, and they did more work than her. So they were willing to give food, pack the food, quickly go and ask the cars how many meals they need. So they were like working so happily, and they at the end, when they were sitting down to eat food, to eat longer on their own, they enjoyed that part too. They were like very happy, and they were feeling very welcomed, and they were like, oh, we are definitely going to come for next few weeks too again.
For sure.
So it's rewarding when you see that, and then kids getting connected, learning about each other. So that helps to know people know about Sikh people, and that will help our kids to not get into like the religion not being misread. So people
Yeah.
will be aware of that. So
For
like
sure.
even our local Gurudwara, like Amit said, nobody knew us here, like in around Avido area where our Gurudwara is located. But since we have started this program, people who walk by, because our Gyani Ji walks by outside the Gurudwara, he do evening walks. So people walking by or on the bicycles, they have started addressing him. Those
Wow.
small things like with Sasrikal, and it's amazing to hear that, because from a non-Sikh person addressing with Sasrikal or trying to say the Guru Fateh, those small things are very amazing and very rewarding. You feel really rewarding that, and people knowing about you.
you are a youth member body of the Sikh Society of Central Florida. So let's quickly chat about your experience and the other youth experience in the Sikh Society of Central Florida. Talk to me a little bit about the activities the youth of the Sikh Society is currently doing, and how has your personal experience been with it?
So over the past few months, Sikh Youth of Florida, we have been hosting blood drives. We hosted 3 blood drives over the past 6 months. We also have been involved with the free meal program, which is every Sunday from 10 to 12. And then we have also involved non-Sikhs from other communities, youth from other communities have also been involved to help us out. We are currently doing the cards. We are making cards for law enforcement, first responders to show our appreciation for them. And then we are trying to spread awareness about Sikhism through social media, Instagram, Facebook, and trying to get Sikhism in textbooks so schools and students know what Sikhism is about and, are more aware of it. My personal experience, I love doing volunteer work, love doing seva. It's very rewarding after you're completed, after Sunday, you've been at, you're helping out, giving the meals. It feels really good inside.
Yes, for sure. I have to ask you, how does it feel being a Sikh American?
It is definitely, challenging. People misinterpret and everything, but it's good. People ask a lot of questions. Why do you have long hair? Why do you, a lot of questions on my hair. I educate them saying, this is a principle. This is my religion. And this is how, we keep our hair and, educate them more about the principles and the aspects of Sikhism.
Of course, beautiful. And I have to ask you, for a lot of the Sikh youth that might be confused or concerned, and we did talk about some identity issues in this episode as well, what do you have to say to the Sikh youth, and what do you wish the youth did together more?
I would say to the Sikh youth that definitely be involved in selfless service, be involved in giving back to the community. During these tough times, we should always help the needy. So in any way you can, you should always, give back, always help them in any possible way. You should also be involved in Gurudwara, Khalsa school. They teach you more about them, how to approach people, as well as Sikh camps. You learn more about the religion, more about, everything that's going on, how to approach students and how to approach those questions.
Yes, for sure. I would love for you to give a last message to the youth, if you could, on the program. And I would love to also have you discuss a little bit about the virtual classes and your experience with that.
So virtual classes, I was really enriched by them. They were really nice because in this pandemic, we switched everything to virtual. So my first experience was Living Sikhi camp, which lasted for about 8 weeks. And then slowly we started doing evening prayers, Rera Sai Pat. And, that involved like kids from age 6 to 16. Everyone was involved. Everyone got a turn. And then we started having classes about, English translation from our morning prayer called Japji Sahib. So we started learning the meaning. What does it say? What did our gurus teach us, So I really liked, it was a very nice experience, but I still do miss going to the Gurudwara, every Sunday experience. But still, the way we are, having classes and everything, it doesn't feel like anything is missing or, there's something that's like missing out of this or something we're not doing.
Let me ask you one more thing. What are your hopes with Sikhism? I know you're a youth that's being, born and raised here, and you're seeing all sorts of, things being said about the faith that you belong to. What are your hopes with it?
Hopes, I think that, people should be just more aware of it. I think that if we spread it, if we be more aware, people will know us better, and then eventually nothing like that will happen. Like Amit Pal uncle's car, something happened. So nothing like that will happen. People will be more aware, and it's like it'll go in textbooks and stuff like that. So it'll be much more, we will have more awareness and more identity for ourselves.
For sure. Kavleen, thank you so much for giving us your time here. And I would like to thank Gagandeep Kaur and Amitpal Singh. All of you really brought in a lot of perspective here, and I hope our audience enjoyed and learned from it. So thank you again for your time here on ITV Gold, and I wish you the very best.